Welcome back, everyone. Going into the second half here of PoE Week on Drop Frames. A little bit of news before we jump into the rest of the game. It was kind of a slow week in the world of video games. Deathloop got delayed until September 14th, 2021. That was the delay of the week, as they seem to be happening almost weekly now with the big games that are supposed to be coming out. They put out a little video basically just stating, the norm that you expect from companies these days. But it will be still coming out this year in September. So, yeah. More time that they need to work on the game. Makes it better. It's fine. Same old story, same old stuff. There was a gameplay trailer for Age of Empires, which I guess we should preface this with, did you play much Age of Empires as a kid? Did you grow up on that at all? Nothing?
Not really.
Okay. Zeke, did you ever play the Age of Empires? Is this just a me and Ziz thing?
Not console, man. I was a console kid till I was in my mid-20s.
Age of that might have been. You didn't get hit up by your chat to go back and play the Age of Empires games when you said you were revisiting games you should have played as a kid. It wasn't mentioned.
I might have, but if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think it's a game that I would like.
It is a RTS, so probably not.
Oh yeah, that's why. Yep, RTSs, and I don't really jive very well.
Yeah, it is skewed towards the competitive RTS. At least Age of Empires 2 is. Ziz, I know we were talking before the show. You were obviously you were excited for this once upon a time.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I love games like this. It's more something I would like play off stream to chill with. But I love Age of Mythology, Age of Empires, all of those. Like, so much fun when I was growing up. Like you pointed out, this does look like a bit of not exactly like the old ones. Looks a little bit more like other games like Total War and stuff, but
yeah,
it still has a lot of those things that you love in this. So it's hard to tell if it's going to be amazing or not until you try it, I think.
Yeah.
So hopefully it will be really good.
Yeah. I was more StarCraft inclined, but I did play AoE 2 when it first came out. This one's definitely riding a weird line of like, in the larger fights, it looks very Total War-y.
Yeah.
But in the stuff that we just saw, it's very like AoE 2.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to like releasing a RTS in 2021, you have to have a little bit of like Total War, right? Like Total War sold well because RTS competitive anxiety is a very real thing. And it's one of the reasons that like StarCraft 2 floundered so much is because no one wanted to fucking queue up and play 1v1 in StarCraft because it sucked. Like, not the game sucked, it just sucked to queue in that game. There's so much anxiety behind ladder anxiety. So they got to have some sort of like campaign to this. And so if they can kind of like nail both sides of that, it might do well. I am curious to see like what an RTS does in 2021 when the like landscape and the culture of gaming has changed so much to like be forgotten. Like RTSs don't really come out anymore, and if they do, they don't make a big splash because it's all battle royale.
Yeah,
and
I felt like when I was growing up, there was one coming out all the time. Like you had Command and Conquer, all the Red Alerts, and KK&D, and so many. I felt like it was like the most popular genre, or at least one of when I was growing up. Whereas now it's changed so much. I agree.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know, chat. You might have to. I don't think this is planned to come out this year. At least AoE 4. They also showed some AoE 2 stuff. Because that game still has a pretty active community. I think I tuned into a tournament like 2 weeks ago where they had like 50 or 60,000 people watching. So there's still definitely a competitive community around that game, which maybe it translates over to AoE 4. But
yeah,
we'll see.
It looks very pretty.
It does. It does look. Yeah. Here's some of the bigger later year fights. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. Later ages fights, not dark ages, is like feudal age, I guess, or castle age, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It looks cool. Definitely some low FPS stuff in like this type of thing, which hopefully that gets cleaned up. But I will definitely check it out whenever it does come out. Being an RTS fan, with like the StarCraft days and whatnot. So we will see. The other big bit of news. maybe not big, but Subnautica put out its cinematic trailer, as that game's going to be coming out in the middle of May, I think. Cody, know the date on that off the top of your head?
May 14th.
May 14th.
I have to admit, this trailer is interesting. The trailer itself is pretty great. Have you guys seen it? Zeke,
this is my first time seeing it.
Oh, let's make it big. Let's watch it. Let's go and watch it. It's pretty short.
Let me bring that back. Give you guys audio. Boop. Cameras are gonna look wonky. Just prepare yourself. Yeah.
Hi, Ziz.
I'm not scared. My dreams are all I ever needed. She told me what I'd see.
Wow.
That concludes our coverage of the Xbox Game Showcase from 2020. It's pretty fun. I told you that scene wasn't.
I haven't used that overlay in a minute, huh?
Yeah, it's been a while for that one.
So it's
yeah.
kind of a fun trailer, but the thing that's kind of weird about it is, like, first of all, Subnautica has never really been like a funny game. It's
No,
never really
not
been
at
like
all.
a comedy game. And then who is that guy? Because the Below Zero, I played Below Zero before they did the big story change, which is where the writer left the game. They brought in another writer. They basically like took a bunch of stuff but retconned like a bunch of other stuff. So I don't know if that's like a new main character, and if it isn't, who is it? Because
Yeah.
the whole premise of Subnautica is that there's not a lot of people on the planet. So like, who is this guy, and why is he having these Mr. Bean style adventures? And is he supposed to be the player? And like, it's weird. But anyway, I thought it was funny, which was kind of nice. So
Yeah, it's
Listen,
yeah.
Breath Edge ticked a lot of boxes for me as far as like getting me to play a game of that nature, and this seems to be going in that direction, and it's actually like enticing me. Like, it looks like it's got a good sense of humor. It's got a character that I can identify with. He's a very handsome, very good looking main character, if I may say so myself. And it looks like there's gonna be like big monsters and stuff, which, you know, I love that too. So I don't know, man. This looks better. It looks more like a game that I would play than the original Subnautica.
yeah.
Some people in my chat are pointing out that apparently they tweeted with the video that those are events that happen before the game begins. So those are he's probably one of the premise of the game before, at least, was that you were one of like the last researchers in this kind of research group, and so I'm guessing that's probably one of the previous researchers or the ones you were.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It's gonna really suck for people that watch that trailer and then don't expect a fucking horror game. When they boot it
Well,
up.
I mean, Subnautica games always have kind of horror elements.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trailer
Somebody
didn't
did
show that.
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
It was a lighthearted. I think Mr. Bean was a great, apt way to describe that character.
Yeah.
And there also wasn't that much underwater stuff. Like he got on the. Is that like the?
There's a lot of land to Below Zero.
Okay, yeah, you've played
There's
it.
a
That's what I was
lot of
gonna
above
ask.
land stuff. Yep. There's it's almost, it's maybe like half and half, 1/3, 2/3.
Wow.
They definitely do a lot of on land stuff in Below Zero.
Still has.
Wow.
It still feels
Whole
like
new vehicle for
Subnautica.
it too. Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
Below Zero is really cool. I'm actually really hyped to play
How
it again.
how much is in like the current like playable stuff of Below Zero?
Well, it's kind of weird because, like, again, what happened is they made about like probably between 60 and 80% of the game, and they had a lot of the story in, but it wasn't complete. And then publicly, they haven't been super specific about it, but the person who wrote that story, based on community feedback and other stuff, and maybe differences of visions within the team, we don't know, left the company. So
Right.
then they released one big patch where they basically said, this is going to be the last big patch that has that story in it. And then we're going to like redo a lot of it with a new writer.
Oh,
And the new one, and that's what I played. I played that last big patch.
right.
So what's kind of
Makes sense.
unfortunate though is, although that story definitely was a little disjointed and weird, it was cool. Like the premise of it was really cool. And I don't want to talk about it because I don't know how much of it they're going to use. So I don't want to spoil anything. But
Yeah.
I'm very excited to play it again on May 14th and see like what they kept, what they didn't. But it was going a really crazy direction when we got to the end of the story content. But I can't say this. Mechanically and world-wise and everything, it is definitely Subnautica. It feels very good. There's lots of new tools, there's new building types, lots of new creatures, whole new vehicles. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love the like original. I played that on hardcore, and it was scary. Like if
Hell
you
yeah, it
didn't get
was.
advice from chat, it would have been so easy to die. It was
Oh yeah.
really really fun. Really good hardcore experience game.
Yeah. I'm eager to jump in as well, having played that first one. And also, as someone that I think did find some of those deep sea bits pretty scary. The fact that Ko said a lot of that stuff is on land. I can deal with land scariness. I'm okay
Oh.
with that.
Oh, there's all new things to be worried about on land.
Air
Oh, yeah.
scaries. No, not the air scaries.
Oh, well, there's other places than air. But yeah,
Great.
it's all sorts of fun. What's really cool, by the way, and this isn't really spoiler, but one thing that was an interesting point of contention in Subnautica was the what was it called? The Goliath? The Cyclops. The biggest thing, and how hard it was to maneuver, the biggest submarine.
Yeah.
So what's
Yeah.
kind of cool is in this one they do something a little bit different where there's now modular vehicles. So you build like the front of a train, and then you build the additional modules. So you can have something as long or as short as you want. And you can literally just get out of your thing and like swim under the top and grab it and like plug it in like you would a train car. And you can build like a huge mobile base essentially with all sorts of fun stuff in it. But there's some really cool, fun new things they're doing in it, and
Nice.
I think people will be really happy with it. Yeah, so that's
That's
I
awesome.
wouldn't say that's spoilers. It's mechanic stuff.
Cool. That makes me more excited for it. Moving on, because like I said, it was a dry news week. There's not when some of the biggest stuff was CD Projekt has no plans to shelve Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, duh. Like that, there's like 1,000
can't.
comments on that. Like what
Yeah.
the fuck? Yeah, a little
Kinda
bit
cool,
of a dry
though.
week.
They did announce there's a new studio called Covenant.dev, and they are comprised of some ex-CDPR devs, and they
Oh.
announced their new title coming out called Gourd. It looks cool. They have a trailer actually at twitter.com/Gourd the game. And when I looked at it like mechanically, I setting and mechanics, and I immediately fell in love. I was like, oh, this is good. Yeah. GORD. It's GORD. It's looking really cool.
How many
Looking really
how many oh my gourd references have you made already?
Oh,
Not nearly enough now that you've mentioned it.
You gotta
Yeah.
really step up the oh my gourd stuff.
I
Yeah,
do.
this is
I
the
do.
trailer.
Yeah, it's basically like it's like a city builder plus RPG plus survival game. So it's kind of like Valheim, except you're managing like a colony, and it's like really dark, kind of like like demons and evil things everywhere, and like, kids getting eaten. Like it's weird, man. It's super weird. But you start like villagers like in RimWorld, and then you kind of like grow out your little settlement, and I don't know, man. It looks pretty badass. These
I love
kinds of games are my bread
RimWorld.
and butter. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's like you can see,
It
like, if
looks
you pause on the
amazing.
interface there at the end, it looks like there could be a lot to this game potentially. It is a 2022 release date, so they're not rushing. This is by no means a rush product. It sounds like they want to do it right. And yeah, I am getting pretty excited for it. I'm going to be following this one closely.
I'm laughing because I
I
thought
love
you said
games
they're
like
not
that.
Russian, and I was like, what does that have to do with anything? What are you getting at here?
No, they're Polish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Keep your
man.
politics out of the chat, pal. All right.
Hopefully they'll have a polished product.
Yeah, one can hope for sure. All right, let's jump into.
They're not Russian. They're not Russian, but hopefully they have a Polish product.
A polished.
God,
I know.
Polish.
This all started from the "Oh my gourd" comment. 100%. It just got everyone in that
Yeah.
frame of mind. It's where this is my fault. This is my doing. I take ownership of this, and I apologize to viewers everywhere.
That's how you know when you really, really nail a joke is if it takes 5 seconds for people to laugh at it.
Yes, 100%.
Oh man, that's where I live. That's my home.
It is. This is a transition, I think. How's Disco Elysium? Is that your new home? Are you still
Segway?
Are you still in it?
Hardcore!
Yes, absolutely. I got to that. Yeah, absolutely. So just to answer anybody's questions or anybody like saying they're really super clever comments about my beard being shaved. Man, all of you, super funny. Keep it up. I am Zeke's twin. I do look weird. Whatever, you know. The reason why I shaved this is because when I started playing it, I shaved chops, like the main character, because he has these big old mutton chops, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in a point in the game, you have the option to shave those. I'm sorry, I had to spoil that for you, but you do have an option to shave
Big
those
spoilers.
chops. And I took that option. So I got up in the middle of my stream and I went out and I like clippered and then razored, came back and I was clean shaven. So there's the story. That's why I shaved my face, because I was I looked like the character to start and I wanted to keep, looking like him, I suppose.
That's funny.
Can I show footage of you playing? But like, where you got to tell me?
Oh, you can totally.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't worry about it because they'd have to read the text.
Game. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So Disco Elysium. Here's, if I were to go back in time and I could talk to myself about this game, I would say, like, all right, you don't really need to put like set aside your, like, I have to hear all the dialogue that is available to me right now. Put that aside. Put that aside for a little bit. And I'm going to help you out if you haven't played Disco Elysium and you're looking to play it. I'll just say Wednesday or day 3. Then everything just opens up and it's like, it's so great. I spent the first like 2-3 streams in day 1 and 2, like, just exhausting all of the dialogue, every single bit of it. And the thing I could have done would have been I could have spaced out all those things. Yes, there is a lot of dialogue available to you immediately, but I front loaded it all. So don't get me wrong, I was having a good time listening to the story, the voice acting stuff. It was just so dense. It was so much info. What I wish I would have done was spread out like different things, like maybe talk to this person for a little bit and come back. Talk to this person for a little bit and come back. Talk to this person for a little bit, come back. It is a visual novel. I've still not changed my mind about that. It's still a visual novel game. It's a point and click visual novel, but the voice acting has added so much immersion to the game for me. It's been a wonderful experience, and especially the last 3 times I picked it up, has been, you know how I made that analogy last time about turkey and potatoes?
Yep.
And I said, there was a lot of potatoes to get to that turkey. It's been like 80% turkey, like these last few streams. It's been like just chunks of plot. However, I could have like split it up a little bit better. And I'm sure there's a lot of people's experience. That's why a lot of people experience the game differently, and why I might have even borderline called it boring to start, because the way I played it, it front loaded all of the fucking like lore. It was like a
world
lore
building. Yeah.
It was like a lore, not a lore dump, but like a lore landfill. It was like just a fucking mountain of lore. And I'm like, oh man, that's a lot of info. My brain is full. I hate it. I want to love this. I could have done it differently. And I kind of wish that I could have guided myself, like, or I had some sort of like, you know, impetus to like walk around more than I did. But I would go to like one person and stop. And some people, it's like hour. Like you stop and talk to them for like an hour. And I should have
with the
taken
voice
like,
acting.
yeah,
slows
some of the
everything
game's
down.
advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the game's advice saying like, maybe you want to come back to this later. Like, nah, let's get it done right now. However, me doing that, front loading all of that lore, meant that the last 3 days and the coming days that I'm going to be playing it are going to be just fucking awesome. Like they're just going to be action packed. You know, it's just going to be like mysteries, like unraveling cases and stuff getting solved. Like yesterday, it was just like one thing after another of just like quickly moving plot. And it's amazing. And the dialogue, the voice acting, the atmosphere, like everything in the game is top notch. I just wish the first part of the game I would have known, like, you can spread it out. You know, you don't have to like, you know, jam all this lore in right now, you know.
It's like if only the game would have told us or flagged us somehow to come back later.
They did it with one character. Like I wish.
I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Serious. Like that part.
I actually agree with you.
Absolutely fair. That I put on myself. But like, if, like I'm telling you, Disco Elysium is a wonderful game, but don't force yourself to, like, if you get tired of a certain character and their dialogue and you're, you know, back and forth, it's okay. Leave the conversation. Come back to them later when they're fresh again. You know, go talk to somebody else for a little bit. But it was just like lore dump, you know, like,
yeah,
right at the beginning.
I do wonder how much like of the players that have played that game did what you did, Zeke. Because I feel like video games in general, in a lot of ways, have trained you to exhaust a dialogue system. And so to like get met with that, and then for the game to even say like, hey, you can step away and go talk to other people. If you've played games before, you're like, fuck off. I'm going to finish. That's a challenge. Stop fucking challenging me to finish this.
Well,
That's what I would have done, yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that, but the game works in this system where it pretty early gives you pretty serious indicators that there is a day system moving by and that things are going to be different on the days. So I don't know if you felt like I did, Zeke, but a lot of times when I got to these people, I would feel compelled, like, oh, I need to do this now because maybe they're not going to be here later. So it's like, if I want to see everything and do everything, I need to sit here and do this. And I know what you kind of mean with the world building thing. And honestly, I think to like how the game could have been better. It could have been cooler to see some of those NPCs pop up on later days, like those two guys playing ball, which is basically just like a giant history lesson. Would have been a lot better if they like showed up on day 4 or something. So you could kind of focus on the other things, you know, and then come back and kind of get, once you kind of have a foundation. Oh Lord, what is this? Once you get like a foundation of the world.
My pug. She's barking at ghosts. She does that.
Oh, okay.
But once you have like a good idea of the foundation of the world, then the lore builds on that instead of it kind of like building on nothing. Just kind of expecting you, because sometimes the game does feel kind of like it's giving you a history lesson. So when you learn something important later, you'll have the context of having that lesson be told. Like I just came up to a really interesting part that literally felt like it was in class. And Zeke, you may have seen this guy, with a character who's standing in front of a building with his son. And you sit there and you can talk to him for like a solid 45 minutes. The dude even talks like a teacher, and he's just sitting there explaining. Well, then this happened, and then this happened, and this company used to make these, but now it makes these, and then they did this, but that was pre-war. Let's talk about post-war. And he like it's like listening to a lecture, and you're just sitting there like, okay. And even at one point, the game goes like you ask the dude a question, and he starts responding, and then the game goes like, you fall asleep while he's talking to you. You can't follow what he's saying. It's just like, is this like 4D that's going on right now? Like, is the game becoming self-aware? But no, I totally see what Zeke's talking about with that stuff. It can be a little much. It's great, but it's a lot of great.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that I would say, like, that I if I could go back and give myself advice about it is, I didn't really like look at my tasks because I would walk around one area, find a person and talk to them. What I would like suggest to anybody who wants to pick this game up is, once you've had like a long bit of dialogue, like with somebody, save it first, save the game. And then second, check your tasks. It's fun to wander. Yes, there is time for that, but like, don't get bogged down with, there's another person in this room that I want to talk to. I haven't talked to them yet. It's okay to ignore them for now. Like, walk out and go do something that's on your task list. They'll be there. Go back and talk to them later. Like, you don't need to, like, I traveled, like, the first time I played, or the first broadcast, like, my character model moved probably 20 feet because I barely even got outside of the first, like, start the cafeteria restaurant that you hotel, whatever that you stay in.
Yeah.
Like, because I just went one person down the stairs, one person.
I can't think of any other game that does anything like that. Like you guys said, like, I would normally exhaust every option in every talking game to make sure I haven't missed anything.
Yeah, it's unique.
Well, point and clicks like train you to do that.
Totally.
Like, point and clicks, like, they start you in one area, they expect you to talk to everybody in that one area, and then something they say or something they give you or whatever opens up another area. Whereas this one, the starting area, like the actual most of the map doesn't open up until later on, like a couple of days later than we start. If I'm being honest, I'm being absolutely 100% honest, I would have said to myself, don't worry about day 1 and 2. Just get to day 3, and then everything just goes, just opens up for you.
All right. You haven't finished it, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Did you finish it yet, Co? Have either of you finished it? Okay.
I just finished Persona 5 Strikers today. Finally.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to be working on Disco Elysium next.
Gotcha.
And Evil Genius 2 and those.
Okay.
Oh,
Zeke,
nice.
were you gonna say something else?
I asked my chat how much time I have left. I said, can I finish in one broadcast? Mostly they said no. And I said, can I finish it in 2? And mostly they said, maybe. So
okay.
It looks like I've got like between 15 to 20 more hours according on my time, like Zeke play time too.
Sure.
What day are you on?
This game. What day am I on? I want to say day 5.
Oh wow, so you're significantly further than me. Okay.
Yeah, I Monday, like, because you start on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah,
I think so. I'm not sure.
I think that's how the week goes. Yeah.
Last we checked.
Yeah. Who knows?
No, I'm trying to think of if anybody in the game says what day it is. Like,
there's a little
out loud.
day counter thing, I think.
It doesn't say the
Maybe?
day though. It doesn't say like
I
like,
see.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever.
There you go.
You gotta find that.
Co, real quick.
Co, I had a question for you, regarding DE before we
Yeah.
move on to something else. What do you find you're using your skill points for? Because I find I use them to plop thoughts in and out, and that's about it. Like I've used like to raise skills like maybe like 5 times, but the rest of it, like I filled up my thought board and just used it to move them.
I'm filling up my thought board. I think I have like 1 spot left in my thought board. And there's definitely a few thoughts that I have now that I just don't use. Like I have some thought that gives me like a bunch of stuff for ultra liberal actions, but I don't really say those. So I need to get those out. But what I also do is I will frequently hang on to a point, and then if I get to like a really interesting speech option, I'll like pop it in there and then beg chat to please give me a boost as well and see if I can make it. But that's about it. I'm super Inland Empire, which is made for a very interesting playthrough. I kind of model my character after my Cyberpunk character, so he's like totally crazy and hears voices in his head, and that's made for a very interesting run. And then I have like perception and logic and encyclopedia and stuff like that. So, but nothing is really too boosted. I just kind of grab stuff as I need it.
I started and continued on being klepto cop. Trying to I try and steal anything that's not nailed down, but also I found that I spread out a lot, like as far as like the personality, like they give you like apocalypse, sorry cop, like
I'm
boring
sorry.
cop, that kind of stuff. Like I pretty got a lot of points in apocalypse and sorry cop, but yeah, I asked that's a really cool feature that they had, the Twitch integration. I use it quite a bit to make decisions, because I don't want to make necessarily the right or wrong decisions, but as a gamer, you have that fucking thought in your head, like there's a right one and a wrong one. In this game, not so much, man. Like you fail something, there might be some cool shit that you get out of failing.
Dude, we have checked
that's
it.
another piece
There
of advice
are
I would tell you,
sometimes
like don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
There are sometimes better options than failure. Like legit, you will get things that you will not get for succeeding. There was one check in particular where you can succeed it, and the game just like gives you a little bit of flavor text. But then you can fail it, and by failing it, you like find something in it that then gives you an actual item in your inventory that you would not get by not failing the check. So it's really, really cool how in this game they make it so failure is not only an option. In some cases, it is like if it's a white check, you always try it, because you know you can come back to it later. And if you fail it, who cares? Like, and sometimes you'll nail 3% checks. I've gotten like 2 of them in our run somehow already. But yeah, white checks.
I would encourage you to
trying to get on the mixer.
Like, I would encourage you to like try. I mean, like I would see a red skill check. I would back out. I would put on all the appropriate clothes to give me the bonuses and stuff like that. I would ask Chad to help me out or whatever. But then if I failed it, I was okay with that. I was absolutely okay with totally boning it, because sometimes you'll fly through the air backwards with your fingers up, shouting "fuck you" at the top of your lungs at someone who probably doesn't deserve it.
There you go.
That actually happened, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
This game, dude. It's great. It's
That's how
great.
it goes.
It's something special.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep an eye on the cat. So at any moment, the sound literally, people have been talking about sound issues. We'll have some real issues soon. Because the cat has found
You think
my
there's sound
mixer.
issues now?
Yeah. Luna loves the mixer because it's a little warm, even though there's now 3 new warming pads in this room to combat this. She doesn't give a fuck. Anyways, Kel, you mentioned Persona 5.
Router.
Yeah. You mentioned you're being done with Strikers with a little bit of a side. Did the game go on too long for you? Or were you happy with the ending? I'm not going to show any footage for spoiler purposes, but
yeah, I was ready to be done with it. I definitely liked it. It was good. I certainly liked a lot of the stuff that happened at the end. Hard difficulty was a little bit of a little rough at times, especially if there was a couple bosses at the end.
How'd the end boss go on that difficulty? Was that
relatively easy? But that's because I'd been saving SP items the entire game, so I just like spammed them down pretty quickly. The first phase is just DDR essentially.
Yeah.
And then the second phase was a little bit more difficult because I stupidly didn't do that. You know, let's not talk about it. It's a little spoiler. Let's not talk about it.
I had one guy alive during the second phase, and that's how I won. I soloed it. It was a very long fight. I was just running around in circles, and then I'd get some SP back, and yeah, there was.
Yeah, for me, I definitely I had a bajillion SP items, so I just sat there nailing his weakness. I'm sure the boss was probably on the forums talking about how shitty that tactic was, and then how it was bugged.
Gotcha.
But that's and actually funny enough, that's going back to it. Like, I felt at the end of it there were some kind of fundamental flaws in the way the game is done. Like I really liked the transition between the turn-based to the real time. I think it was cool. It kept the flow up better. At the same time, though, I think it frequently got way too chaotic. Like there was just too much going on, and it kind of took away from the experience a little bit. Also, the insane amount of verbose combat callouts got grating by the end, where they were just constantly, shouting out various things the entire fight over and over and over and over. And then again, the part that was kind of like a little counterproductive was the entire game mechanics are based around shields and breaking them with weakness.
Uh-huh.
But by doing that, you pause the action and then you just like spam the abilities to take advantage of it, and then that makes the shields disappear, and you press another button and get a little thing, and then you just do it again. So for me, like the whole game basically became this SP management game. And like that was the game primarily.
Yeah.
Which was a little bit weird because like the obvious thing is, well, then just don't use the skills. Well, the game is based around taking advantages of weaknesses and stuff. So it's kind of, yeah. So I did like it though. I thought it was fun. And I definitely enjoyed it as like an addendum to Persona 5. Like I said at the end though, I strongly preferred the Persona 5 story. I felt it was more engaging and kept it more active. And I kind of felt like with Persona 5 Strikers, the game was doing just as much of a job trying to convince us that the problem was there as it was showcasing the team fighting the problem.
Mm.
Like they were really kind of creating their own issue to then solve with the team. Where in Persona 5 Royal now, I guess you'd say, there was very clearly an antagonist who like had his own stuff going on and everything was there. I felt like they were kind of like really trying to make us care about the antagonist in this one. Or more importantly, what the antagonist was showcasing, through all of the traditional Persona, pontification of, oh, we're all in this together, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but overall it was fun. I had a good time with it. I'm very glad I finished it, but I'm glad it's over.
Yeah. I think everything you said, difficulty-wise, I never, or gameplay-wise, I never got to that point because I did play it on normal. So it was like get into a fight, have some fun, spamming some abilities if you wanted to. Otherwise, you could just beat the shit out of it type deal. Yeah. But I think if I bumped up the difficulty, I would have ran into the same stuff you did.
The thing about hard is that it's like almost, now granted, to be fair and to be clear, I didn't do a lot of the side stuff, especially after like the half point of the game. So yeah. The chat was telling me pretty much the entire time that I was under leveled for like the entire second half of the game.
That'll help.
And because of that, I mean, if I would attempt to go into combat, I mess up 3 times and that character's dead. Yeah. Like there were characters that would traditionally not only hit me for over half my life, but the type of move they would do, if I got caught in it, it would just keep hitting me until I was dead. So that's one of the reasons I did the ability spam, was because it's like, I can kill the boss this way instead of like trying to do it in a harder way and not kill the boss potentially. So yeah, it was a thing.
I enjoyed it still. It was worth the anytime I get to jump back into the Persona 5 world, it's worth it for me. So if they do another one or go down that path in a future Persona game, I will still play it. But yeah, I was also glad it was over when it was over. 'Cause as Persona games do, it goes a little long at the end. That's just how a Persona game is. You just have to know what you're setting up for. Ziz, I love the fact that you're playing this game because any excuse I get to talk about one of my favorite games of all time, I will take it. You're playing through God of War for the first time on the PS4. How is... What is that experience? Like, not the original. He's playing the 2018 or 2019 God of War.
Whatever the latest one is.
One of the best games of the past decade.
Yeah, one of the best games of all time. I'll go even further.
It's my first console game. I've never played a console game before. It's an experience. It basically started with like my girlfriend Helena. She actually got into watching like Let's Plays and stuff by watching another guy called Jacksepticeye, and she loved his God of War playthrough. And she asked if she could watch me play it. So I've started playing that with her now, like just as a chill out thing.
Yeah.
And it's really good. I mean, I don't really like controllers. I think they're horrible compared to a mouse and keyboard. But yeah, it's pretty fun. I'm playing on the second hardest difficulty, and I feel like it's kind of switched a little bit. I'd say the game has a fairly bad difficulty setting, in my opinion. It feels like the bosses are incredibly easy, and I one-shot them. And the normal monsters in the game are just incredibly spongy. Like, they're not really hard, they just take a long time to kill. So I'm not loving the difficulty that much. I don't really feel that I'm getting much out of playing on a hard difficulty. But the game itself is amazing. It's so beautiful. It's so much like I love like learning more about the characters and like the father son and the stuff there. It's really cool. It's kind of made me want to go back and explore the other ones too, because obviously I haven't played any of the previous ones.
Yeah.
But
Very
yeah,
different,
it's
I will say.
yeah.
As a preface, the other games are very well. God of War 3, I think, is maybe the closest thing to that version, but still very different from the modern God of War for sure. So just going with that ahead of time. Much more arcadey,
Yeah.
I guess is how I would say.
It's a little bit like Dark Souls Lore Edition or something. I don't know what to call it, but it's that's like the closest game I've played, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, the
I
difficulty on
wanted
that
to go
game's weird.
back.
Go ahead, Zeke.
No, you're talking about the game. I was gonna kind of change tack just a slightly.
Oh, I was gonna say that while I'm glad my first playthrough of that game back when it first released, I played on the hardest difficulty. When they released New Game Plus difficulty, I was fine until I got to the end boss, and then I was underleveled, and it was like I would hit the end boss, and it would do like I couldn't even see the damage on his HP bar go down, and he would hit me, and it would be a one shot, and I was like, I'm good.
Wow.
I don't need to beat this game. I've seen the ending. There's no reason to beat this again. And so I stepped away. I didn't even has anyone warned you or told you about the Valkyries yet? Have you seen any of that? Okay.
No, I haven't had any spoilers. I don't know anything about the game, but
Okay.
now I know about the Valkyries. I'm gonna be careful now.
If you want a challenge, you can go for the Valkyries. It's side stuff. It
cool.
is. Who was it? Baru that spent like 30 hours
Lyric.
on it, or it was Lyric. That's who it was. It was Lyric. Yeah, he spent a ungodly amount of time on the final Valkyrie. It is a very
It is
very
an
difficult fight.
extremely
That sounds
difficult
great.
fight.
Yeah,
That
very
sounds
hard.
awesome.
But it's rewarding. It's you know it's got that Dark Souls vibe to it when you beat it, but it's a fucking nightmare. It's so hard. I never even
perfect.
attempted it. So yeah, it might be something worth streaming in that regard if you ever get to that point, because you will be there for probably a very long time battling that fucking Valkyrie. So yeah, Zeke,
Nice.
what were we gonna change up the conversation to?
I just wanted to get you to reiterate or maybe clarify this. You said this is the first console game you've played, and you said ever. Use the term ever.
Pretty much,
What do you
yeah.
mean
Like
by
I
ever? Like, are you
I
talking
would
about like
like-
Nintendo, Super Nintendo? Like, you don't none of those?
Okay, so actually no, I guess that does count as console. I mean, I've just like never really played any like PlayStation, Xbox games like that. I would like if
Okay.
I was over at a friend's house and they had Tekken, I would sit down for a game or two of Tekken. But I don't know. I really hate like controllers. I detest them.
Makes sense.
Like
Okay.
whenever I play games like Dark Souls 3 and stuff, I use a mouse and keyboard. So I feel it's so much better. Same with like Sekiro and all those games. And I do love those games. I just feel like they're better with mouse and keyboard.
That seems bananas to me. Like I can't even fathom playing those games not on a controller. But hey, if it works out, it works out. You know, that's how it goes. Did you try like
I'm
Monster
telling you, man,
Hunter or
like-
something on a controller?
There's nothing
I
like this,
did-
man. This
I did
is
Monster
great.
Hunter
This
on
is
mouse
right.
and keyboard too.
Yeah, I'm with Zeke. Do you have like a sense of? Do you understand the sense of relaxation when you're playing God of War with a controller and you're just like lounging? Does that come into it, or do you still wish
I
like
don't know,
God I wish I
like-
had a mouse and keyboard?
Yeah, I'm always like mouse and keyboard, and I'm not that chilled out when playing games. I'm always like very like I try really hard. I really want to play
Yeah.
the game the hardest difficulty and just beat the shit out of the game.
I get it. I understand it.
But yeah, like,
Like it.
but it's really sad because that does mean that I missed out on some games. Like I really wanted to play the Spider-Man game, and I didn't even have a console until recently, so I just wasn't able to try it. Like I hate exclusives. People should be able to play it on whatever platform they want to, with whatever. If they prefer mouse or keyboard or controller, that'd be nice. Just every option was there.
I think a lot of people would agree with you there for sure.
Zizaran has gained a thought. It is ultra liberal thought process. Sorry, that's from
That's a
Elysium.
Disco Elysium.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Love it.
Zeke, if you had to pick one indie, because we're already short on time,
Sure.
what would it be? Do you have that one that one indie?
This is of all time, by the way.
Yeah.
Of all time.
Binding of Isaac. Let's talk about it.
Oh man, we should talk about that. But I don't think any of us played it.
I need to bring Northern
meaning
Line on to talk about it. That's who we should bring on.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Cobalt
like
Streak.
I have so many friends in that
Cobalt,
world.
Yeah, either or, for sure. Both.
We talked Narita Boy last time, right?
Yep. We haven't heard Yaga, Everhood.
Okay. Pick any one of those. Any one of those is fine.
I'm scrolling.
What looks the most intriguing to you?
Well, the unfortunate thing is that all of the VODs are just starting out with you, and not the gameplay. And so it's hard. Let me. Paradise
you can't,
Lost. Didn't Co play Paradise Lost?
Oh,
should we
no,
talk?
I
about...
wanted to know about it.
Oh, let's. Co wants to know about it. It's intriguing to me in the thumbnail.
Oh, wait. Not after that.
No,
after that look, I don't know.
It's gonna be real.
Did you see that look? Did you see that look? He was like,
Oh, I didn't see it. I was looking at. Oh, he spent 54 minutes with it. So.
oh no.
Yeah, I might go back to it if they, like, if I ever feel like maybe editing like an INI file or something like that to make me go slightly faster, just a little bit faster. This is something I don't like in that video game. I don't know if it's a dev choice. I don't know what it is. But in some games, it seems like they're like, you're going to appreciate this fucking scenery. You're going to appreciate every single little fucking pixel in this fucking game. And we're going to make sure you do that by making you walk real slow. And not only that, we're going to give you a sprint button, but it's going to give you 3% more speed. So why bother, right? Right. Enjoy this fucking game. And I'm just like, I hate that. Trust me as a gamer. If I want to look at it, trust me to do that. If I don't, then don't tell me how to enjoy this fucking game.
Maybe
You know
the
what I'm
character
saying?
has a heart
It just
issue, you know?
moved so slowly.
If
Just
only
give
you
me
knew.
the option. Just give me a little bit more movement, like speed, please. Because it was like, I wanted to go explore this side thing, but I went, shit, there's something I wanted to check out back here.
It's very slow, actually.
Like, seriously, I was just like, you know, it made me not want to explore anything. It's exactly the feeling I was like, hey, look, there's something over there. It'll take me 10 years to get there. I don't care. I have lost the desire to go look at that thing.
What was it?
It is beautiful. The game is gorgeous. It is like atmospherically, graphically, fucking beautiful. And I don't want to look at any of it anymore.
Do you think it was like a with it being that well rendered? Do you think it was put in there for like a texture streaming purpose so that you didn't run ahead and it didn't like show a shit ton of pop in or something like that? Or is it just they just wanted you to be this slow?
That might very well be. And
They wanted to increase the gameplay time too. It's not a long game.
Oh yeah, I mean that could also be true.
Like 4 hours.
Also, I mean, I played it for an hour and there's no game. There's no gaming. I mean, it says walking. No, listen, it says walking simulator. I am totally fine with that. Absolutely fine with that. But it's just walk, pick up, look, and that's it. That's it.
It doesn't really start getting interesting until like an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
About maybe close to 2, and then some.
Was it a good experience for you, Co? I'm guessing it was.
It certainly became a lot more interesting when you find out what the place is, what happened to it, how it works. I guess I could, without spoiling it too much. It became a lot more interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say. It's not very long.
Something that I should give another chance to. As a no.
I don't know if
There's a
it's
hesitation from Co.
really.
That's a hard no. That's not
Here's
a
the
no.
thing.
That's stay the fuck away from this
No,
game.
no. Let me say why. It's because you never get faster. So if you didn't have like a good experience at the beginning, I don't think it would get significantly better. You're slow the whole game, really, until like a few key scenes. But it was interesting. I think if you don't mind the slowness, it's worth a playthrough, especially if you like kind of sci-fi, weird, semi-dark stuff. But yeah, I mean it was entertaining. I'm glad I played it, but I wouldn't recommend it to everyone.
The speed looks a little bit like if somebody shot both your legs in Tarkov.
It does actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same speed.
Or in terms that I can understand,
Nightmare.
it feels like you're doing the over encumbered Valheim walk.
Also true.
Damn it.
Also
Stupid
relatable.
fucking iron.
Also
I gotta
true.
carry this fucking iron from here to there, guys. It's so stupid. I love that. That was one of the best decisions they made in Valheim, was to make
Slow
you look like a
down.
very sad, grumpy man. Like the way they make you look. Not so much that they slow you down, but the way it's just like, oh. Like the Charlie Brown walk from Arrested Development, that song like
Oh god.
That game is amazing.
Speaking of that, I did in fact
Watch
I
Charlie
beat
Brown?
the last boss of Valheim.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Congratulations.
Well, I have gotten all of them down. It took it would have taken a lot less time if I didn't fuck around and do exploration stuff. But 250 hours ish in the game,
Wow.
just going around doing stuff, building,
damn.
mining, all that kind of stuff. But also, I didn't look up any guides. I didn't look up anything. So I when I first got to a different biome, it wasn't the meadows or Black Forest. When I first got to a different one, I was like, oh, okay, it's not all just forest. I thought it was all just forest because I didn't watch any streams, nothing. So I was like, oh man. I looked around. I was like, oh dude, there's all kinds of. Oh my god, there's new monsters. Oh my god,
So
there's new things.
nice.
Yeah, and also why it took a long time to do, because I went to a certain biome and a certain creature. I was just like, oh, this is easy, just a bug.
Yep.
Turns out, worst enemy in the game.
Yep.
Worst enemy in the game. Period.
Here comes death.
Yep.
That's how it goes.
Should have seen a pre-patch.
Oh, he was worse. They were worse, I should say.
Oh god, yes. They basically would almost always one shot on the first attack, and they have a completely unique attack pattern compared to everything else in the game, where they kind of do a little move far away and then just charge at you, and they don't stop to attack. It's just all the way into your heart. Yeah, it was really bad. And the best part is they fly, so you would be going by the coast in your boat, and it would just fly right over to your boat.
Oh, that was a treat.
Oh my god, dude.
Treat.
Yeah.
I know what biomes to avoid now. You're not avoiding it far enough. You're out at sea, but you're not really out at sea.
Exactly.
And you see a little
Really
thing
beautiful game though.
in the water. Bloop, bloop.
Oh yeah. I can't wait
So
to
nice.
see what else we're gonna do with Valheim. The new biomes and the new bosses, and yeah, that game is something really special for sure.
And
I'm
mods
actually
that are gonna
I'm
come out.
really excited to see what they come up with. I'm sorry, Ziz. You played this, yeah?
Yeah, I actually did. I normally don't stream games like this, and I actually did, and I kind of regret it because normally, I play games that I want to min max in, right? And then I welcome backseating. I'm like, yeah, let's beat this
Oh,
game
I know where you're
together.
going.
And in Valheim, I was like, I want to try not getting backseated. I want to try exploring. And then, on the first boss, they were like, oh, you just need this item to spawn it. Second boss, someone's like, oh, does he know he needs this to spawn the boss yet? I'm like, well, I do now. So I got literally no exploration on the only game that I wanted to try exploring in. So I actually ended up playing it more off stream because of that. But it's really, really beautiful. It's more adult Minecraft, I guess. It was just I really, really enjoyed building a house and stuff in it. It was so much more I love it. It's an amazing game. I can't wait to see where it goes. And it's also the prettiest ugly game I've ever seen because the textures
That is a perfect way to
The
describe it.
textures are so low, right? There's a
Yeah.
fucking 3 polygon count there, but then you see the shaders and the sun and the lighting, and you're like, is this game pretty or ugly? I don't get it. I'm just confused at this point. Like it's the best way to say it. I think it's so pretty and so ugly at the same time.
Yeah.
Very impressive use of
What-
shaders, and I'm baffled by how small the game is.
What is the artist that did the stipple art, and it was featured in Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Like it would like far away, it looks awesome,
Monet?
but up close,
Yeah,
it
is
gets
that
more and
Monet?
more and more dots.
Monet is where
Yeah.
I went first off, but let me tell you, this show is not art based at all. We have no.
Sarah. Sarah.
Sarah, there you go. That's what I was talking about. Like,
Okay, luckily
it's,
someone
yeah,
in
it's
chat.
an art style called pointillism, but
Monet, we're dumb.
from far away.
Was that
that
Leonardo
Picasso?
guy? One of the
Yeah.
one of the turtles? Was that who that was?
Leonardo D'Angelo or something?
He liked the pizza, right? That guy?
He was the dude that did the yelling, right? The
no,
yell.
no,
Ah!
not the
No?
rat. It couldn't have been the rat. Doesn't have a opposable thumb.
No,
Oh,
the
Lord.
Moaning Lisa. We had that. I remember that.
Jesus.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like in Valheim, it's like that. It's from far away. It's like, wow, that's gorgeous. Then you look
Yeah.
up close. It's like, that's just a mess of pixels. That's like not very well defined. You know, it's like
Oh man.
Very impressed. And I honestly, I thought when I downloaded the game, I was like, I guess this has its own launcher. It's like, no, it's just that small.
Yeah. Yeah. It opens up in a tiny ass window.
This is gonna download the actual game, right? Like this is.
Yeah.
That's how PoE does it.
It's just like,
Oh. Yeah. It is an incredible game. And they have I don't know where the last like money update was, but 7-8 million, something like that, copies
God,
sold.
yeah.
Some absurd.
Still going too.
wow.
Yeah, some absurd number.
Very small team, right?
Mhm.
Handful.
Small team that is well experienced, which has been really cool. Man, they must be just loving the success of this.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they won't pull a Cube World and like go buy a small island somewhere and never be seen again.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We'll see. Zeke, I gotta ask.
5 people.
We started 400. I'm at the end of this VOD with $2.53 in the blackjack. What happened?
keep watching,
Oh, in the final minutes?
keep watching.
Does something happen here? Do you wait? How much do you? Hold on.
$200 bet right there.
Oh,
I was doing 20s and 20s, 20s. I was going down. And I was like, all right, this is the win, lose, or draw right here. I got a 15,
you hit us.
and I'm standing on a 15. She got a deuce showing, so I know she at least has to hit. She has to hit. I know that. But she flips over an ace, which is not great.
Yeah.
Because she can hit twice now.
Oh,
So she gets that 15, but it's still it's still a soft 15. So she's got a hard 13 base card, and I got back to even.
there you go.
I started with 400. I left with 402 or whatever.
That's a good
And I
story.
just boop.
Good day.
Closed it out. I'm out
There
of
you
here.
go.
I was like, you can't put me in the next hand if I close it.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Yeah,
we need
so
to.
that was a fun end of the stream.
I got to talk to. I think it's Jericho. I'm not sure who runs the game, but he has a crew that plays blackjack like once a month with like 10 other streamers. They have like some custom
Wait.
software. Or not
They play
blackjack.
blackjack
Sorry,
or play Hold'em?
Hold'em. Yeah, text Hold'em.
Yeah, okay. I've never been
it's-
invited, but I would like to be.
It is. They're always so fun to watch. Wildcat, a YouTuber, runs it. Okay, they have like $200 or $300 buy-in, and I think at least the 2 nights that I've watched, it's a very quote low buy-in, and by the end of the night, I think the table's like worth 10 or 11,000 because people kept rebuying in.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
and it's mandatory that you drink, so the bets get wilder and wilder, and it's just a lot of fun. Yeah, so I need to figure out something like that. There's always a weird gray area when it comes to like streaming gambling on Twitch as well, that I don't know the rules about. So I need to like figure out how that is supposed to work too. I don't know like what is against toss, what is not against toss, etc.
Well, I can tell you what I do. I don't look into it.
That's also another way to handle it, for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Funny enough,
I
that
asked
works.
forgiveness rather than permission.
That works more often than not on the platform. Yeah. Jeez.
Next time I do blackjack, I'm doing it in a hot tub, like someone said. Yeah.
Smart. That's just good money right there.
That's just good Twitch
Speaking of
access
that,
these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? That's the new fad. Here we go. Hot tubs. You guys been checking any of those out?
I mean, at this point, it's a little old. Like, it's been around for 2 or 3 weeks at this point. Like,
I've actually been
Oh, I was gonna
streaming
say
from a hot
like,
tub
oh,
for
how
2 weeks
old?
now.
Okay.
I'm actually in a hot tub
What?
right now.
Oh, we've green screened
Nice.
it out. It's one of those green kiddie pools. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not in the just
It feels
chatting
great.
section, so it wouldn't work. But we could. You know, if I want to turn the green screen off, we could just show it. But yeah, it's taking over the just chatting section, which, sure, why not? It's whatever.
Yeah, I'm in the camp of I mean, there's free campsites that you can go to and
Look,
see everything.
I'm right there with
If
you.
you
If people
like.
want to watch bad porn, by all means.
Yeah.
But like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
why do I care?
Okay, I'm old. I'm 40, so like I remember USA Up All Night. You guys remember that at all? It was
I
a
had
cable
Showtime.
channel USA.
Yeah, I had
Okay.
Showtime.
No,
and
it was
HBO.
cable.
Sometimes
was cable.
Cinemax.
But it was
sorry.
cable though. It wasn't a pay channel.
Oh.
Meaning they had to obey cable rules.
Uh-huh.
And they would show late at night, they would show like B rate like they would call it the Russ Meyer movies with just like bikinis, big titty, but no, they wouldn't show anything.
Yeah.
And I was like really excited about it because I couldn't watch anything else. But once I got access to pornography, I was like, I'd never watch that shit ever again.
Yeah.
You know, it had no appeal to me anymore.
Yeah, it is what it is. Whatever. Like I feel like the conversation on Twitter is much more interesting than anything I would actually say about it. So I just read the Twitter conversation, don't say anything, and then continue playing more Dota and get upset. And that's my story.
It does sound like Dota.
Yeah. I just stay in my Dota corner of the internet, very angry, and then I go to sleep and wake up and hope that there's a different game for me to play that day.
Are you streaming Dota or is that your off-stream game?
Both.
Oh, you're streaming it.
Okay.
Yeah, I did 10 out. It's so stupid. Me and Strippin duoed on Monday for 10 hours straight of Dota, which is already a lot. And then I went and got dinner, and Sam ended his stream. I sat back down 40 minutes later after I'd eaten. I looked at Steam, and Sam was in Dota. And I joined Discord and said, "Hey, are we queuing?" And yeah, we played for another 3 hours. Because I had to go to sleep upset that night. So I just went and I needed to play more Dota. So.
Man,
I think that's like
Go-
Oh, you go ahead.
I understand, like, I cannot tell you how many times playing Valheim I was like, I died again, and I had like third time in a row I had trying to get back to my fucking body and my stash, and I had to fucking go to bed angry, just mad as fuck, because and it was like I had to tell like my dogs, I had to tell my girlfriend, I had to tell like everybody, and I was like, I'm not mad at you. I want you to know that this has nothing to do with you. I'm just very, very upset right now.
Yeah.
So I'm a race car in the red at the moment.
I think Dota and like games like League though are like in a genre of their own because they're not even like a zero-sum fun game where like for me to have fun, somebody else needs to not have fun. But you can actually you can be winning the game and still be miserable.
Yep.
And I think that's a beautiful thing that just no other game has.
I 100% agree.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. No, like
Yeah.
it's so interesting to me having played Dota like 60 or 70 hours the past week. Like there is only Dota can give that like sublime, I would say as strong a word as that like transcendental, maybe to make up a word potentially, feeling that video games give me of only that type. Because if I play like a story game, I'm like, oh, that was a good story. If something happens in Dota that I caused that's good, I'm like fucking screaming, Aaron's coming down and
Yeah.
checking on me because I need to make sure they're like, you don't express this type of emotion ever. And you're like screaming, fuck yeah, like going crazy. Are you okay? Yeah. And I think for a while after, I think Overwatch hurt me back in the day. And so I had to put it away. And now like Dota's a little bit of like rekindling that competitive spirit. And so it's been fun, but I need the PoEs.
Fun isn't maybe the best word.
Yeah, you might be right. It's something.
Like,
it's evocative. Let's
I
go with
think
that.
those games are like modern day self-flagellation. Like people generally play those games as a punishment. Like you did something
Somewhat.
bad, you need to atone for it, so you're gonna go play League or Dota.
Yeah. Somewhat. There is still good in that game. It's just I think there's a lot of relation to Tarkov. Like the lows are low and the highs are high. In that
True.
type of game.
I love Tarkov.
Yeah. So
I just started
Tarkov.
playing that. It's so good.
Yeah. Someone else was, I thought it was you because I thought we had this conversation, or maybe we sold you on Tarkov once upon a time the last time you were on. We
really don't know.
Maybe the last time you were on, we were talking about my first experience with Tarkov or something.
That might have been it.
Yeah.
Might have been it.
Yeah. Anyways, we got to do some shout outs. We got to call it a show. PoE's out this Friday. We'll all be playing it. Zeke will be finishing Disco Elysium if you want an alternative, which is nice. I will say, with Zeke and Co and I's audience, there's always the game where it's like, so-and-so's playing this game. What is this person doing? Because we never really play the same thing all at once. And it's been nice for sure. Let's do some shout outs though. Zeke, you want to start us off?
You betcha. What's up, everybody? Thank you guys very much for watching. My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at or / Ezekiel_I on all of the things, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff. Thank you to Ziz for joining us and talking PoE. And just to let you guys know, like, I like watching this show. If I've got nothing like intelligent or at least semi-funny to me that I think to say, okay? So stop asking if I'm fucking bored or say I feel so bad. I love it. Just like you. Thanks, Ziz, for being here. I appreciate it. JP, always being co-host. If you want to catch me, I will be on later today. I will be broadcasting a co-op game with my wife, my girlfriend, all of the above, called Across the Obelisk. It is apparently a card deck building, Darkest Dungeon sort of like turn-based game. I don't know, like there's so many buzzwords in there. I don't know what the fuck it's gonna be, but hopefully it'll be fun. She said it's fun, so I'm gonna be playing with that with her in about an hour on both of our streams. We're both gonna be live, so that's what's happening today, and then tomorrow and Friday, Disco Elysium, pushing towards the end. Maybe we can do it. Who knows? That's what I got. Thank you.
Cool. Shout outs.
Big thank you to JP and Zeke, and as always, our guest Zizaran. Thank you very much for being here. It's been awesome. My name is Ko. Hi. We finished Persona 5 Strikers today. I'll be back in a couple hours, 2.5 hours, for some Outriders cozy streaming. And then tomorrow, probably Disco Elysium, going into the weekend, Path of Exile. We got lots of other games coming up as we get to the end of the month with Near Replicant, and then into next month with Subnautica and all that fun stuff. Oh, we didn't talk about the BioShock news next week. But anyway, as always, thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and see you tonight. And if I don't see you at some point before then, next week for more Drop Frames.
Cool. Ziz, do some shout outs.
All right. My name is Zizaran. I primarily stream Path of Exile, and I focus a lot on helping new players learn and enjoy the game. So I have a series called Path of Exile University, and I also have some of the best build guides that exist for new players to try out new builds and experience PoE. So make sure you check that out. Huge thank you to Ko, Zeke, and JP for having me on here, and an even bigger shout out to you, the audience, for watching. Thank you so much.
I like in your shout outs. A lot of times some people will be like a little coy and like not necessarily say like you definitively said I have the best build guides for newer players. I like that. kudos to you for having the confidence.
And someone in the chat said humble brag. Ain't no humble to that.
That's
the
just straight
deal.
up a brag.
That was just some real shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
no, they
I love
are.
it. I applaud you.
Yeah.
They are. We have a team. It's all set up. It's great.
I liked it. It was great. Thanks
I'm
for
using
being
this
on.
build guide next week.
Yeah, I've used it in multiple leagues as well. I will vouch 100%. That'll do it for Drop Frames this week. We'll be back next week with another show and probably another guest. And probably talking less on the PoE, but it will probably still come up because that's, I think, what me and Co are going to be spending some time with.
So our guest next week is Ziggy D.
Ziggy D
We'll
coming
see you guys
Just how it goes. And also Zeke will be here. He'll be miming next week all of his parts of the show. So look forward to that. Yeah. Do you have any?
I will be doing a mural in the background while you guys are talking about
Yes,
it.
a Monet. You're going to practice your Monet.
I'm gonna practice my stipple, my pointillism.
Jesus. All right, we got to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next week for more Drop Frames. Enjoy PoE, Ziz, if I don't talk to you before then, but I'm probably going to be in those DMs soon about a build.
Of course.
So
Always welcome.
we'll talk to
again.
you soon. We're out of here. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.